Welcome back to Chit Chat with Chels.
And Jesse, why did you sound so annoyed?
Because you annoyed me.
I did. I'm like, welcome back to Chat with Chels.
Don't make people listen to you say it like that.
Mike Wazowski.
Well, as you guys can tell, Jesse is feeling better.
Woohoo!
Much better.
I'm well.
Sorry about missing last week.
We could have still recorded a podcast, you know.
You were like dead to the world.
I even told you I was still recording. All I'm doing is talking. I just would have been like,
Yeah, you guys would have been hearing him going,
I really was like in and out of consciousness on Tuesday making those noises.
So I did not feel like you guys would needed to hear all that. So we are going to go with the theme that we were going to go with last week, which is can't choose your family.
Oh, unless you marry him. I married you. I chose you, dum-dum. That's what I'm saying.
I chose you. There's a difference.
Is that what happened? Oh, my goodness.
No, don't get me wrong. Like, I know that people have chosen families. Like, you choose for certain people to be in your life and to be like family. But there are certain people that are born your family.
That's true.
And you can't choose that. You can choose to cut them off. You can choose to not be any part of them. You can choose to deal with them, but you can't choose the fact that they were born into your family or you were born into their family.
True dat, bruh.
Yes.
That was weird. Also, I don't know if you guys will be able to hear it, but I'm doing laundry right now.
I didn't even think about that.
It's, hold on, pause, please. I don't think it's coming through the mic.
I don't think it is either.
But, I took my ice fishing bibs off at some point, and one of the fucking dogs decided that they were going to pee on them.
Well, you left them on the floor.
Right.
So that's your fault.
So hold on. We haven't talked to our folks in 2 weeks. So what's new with you, baby boo?
Not much. I'm just reading a lot.
A lot.
I set a goal of 15 books this year, and I just started my 12th. So I might have to up my goal.
Baby steps.
Yeah. How many, let's take a poll. How many do you think I can read this year?
How many books can you read this year?
Yeah. At the rate that I'm going.
At the rate that you're going, you read 12 books in under 2 months. So I'm going to say, realistically, you could probably do 40.
Yeah.
I would give you a higher number, but when summer comes, I don't know if you'll be.
Yeah, I was a little iffy about that. Chris's number, because I was talking to Chris about this today at work, his number was 42.
For you?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
He thinks
so
42.
We're thinking the same thing then.
Yeah. So we'll see. I set a very small goal because for like a couple years I hadn't really read. Like,
how many do you think I'll read?
7. No,
7?
that's a tall order.
That is a tall order.
You've read what, 1?
I haven't even read 1 this year.
This year?
I finished Mother of God last year.
Let's go with 2.
2 books?
Yeah.
I'm halfway through one. Let's do 4.
Okay.
4 is still honestly a lot. Especially once I
yeah.
start working and then open water fishing comes around.
Mm-hmm.
I did just make myself a hefty purchase towards the fishing. I need to really just make my fishing channel like an LLC so I can get some taxes back on that.
Yeah.
But it was only like $100 in tax, so.
He went and bought himself new ice fishing huts.
Huts.
Yeah, a single man and a double man.
Yes. So, if you remember us talking about our Clear Lake trip,
I'm sure
I
do.
told Chelsea when I was working on deciding if I wanted to do this order, I'm like, it is worth the money that I'm spending to never have that happen again. I don't ever want to take you on an ice fishing trip and not be able to fish.
Yeah, we did not get even a pole in the water.
No,
I was very upset
line was
about
not
that.
wet. I didn't even take a hook off of an eyelet. Like,
No.
I didn't even touch my poles.
No. Well, we'll see how it goes. They should be here, this week? At least one of them?
One of them said that it should be here this week.
Yeah. So,
which would have been faster if they would have just been in the fucking store. But you know, that was a
yes.
whole nother fucking shit pile.
Yeah.
But
Other than that, I don't know. Do you have any plans for this upcoming weekend?
for this weekend is probably just use those huts
Yeah.
if I get them. I need to try to get some pictures of my current hut tomorrow, or I'll post that online. But I mean, as far as this weekend, probably just fishing, I guess. I don't know. Did we have any plans that I'm
No.
forgetting about? I'm pretty
We
good
don't
at
have
that.
any We don't have any friends. Sorry, guys.
We do
any
have
plans.
friends.
Yes, we do have friends. No, I was mixing what I was gonna say with answering you. That I'm going on a friend date on Sunday.
Which I'm excited for.
Yes. I'm going to coffee and to a bookstore and then to lunch. So I am very excited about that. And then in 2 days, I have another tattoo appointment.
Yep.
So got some fun things coming ahead, and hopefully it'll start getting warmer.
In 2 days, I will be assembling a giant ice fishing hut in the living room.
And I won't be here, thank God. Well, let's get started then.
All right, done.
All right. Do you want to start with something that's just like, whoa, or something that's like, holy fucking shit?
Who's reading it?
I am.
You always start, don't you?
Yep. Mom, pick one.
I'm thinking. That laundry really is super duper loud.
Do you want me to go shut it off?
No, I don't want you to shut it off.
Oh, okay. Well, then pick one.
Sorry, it's my ice fishing bibs that I'm trying to fish tomorrow. Give me the holy fuck one.
Okay, I just found this one. It was posted 6 days ago on r/family drama. Since I turned 18, my mother has been behaving too affectionate. When I asked her about it, I didn't know what to say.
Uh-oh. This sounds awkward.
Hi, I normally use Reddit to watch memes or read stories without even interacting. I never imagined I would end up writing here. First of all, an introduction to maybe understand my situation better. My mother, 35 female, got pregnant with me at 16 by a one-night stand. So she doesn't know who my father is.
It's a one-night stand.
Well, yeah, but normally you still know who the person is.
Sometimes you get all fucked up.
She decided to tell her parents / my grandparents, who fortunately supported her and guided her through her pregnancy because she didn't like the idea of having an abortion. Thanks to their help, she was able to raise me and finish high school and later college. My mother has never had a serious partner since she had me, which surprises me because genuinely she is a very attractive and charismatic woman. She would tell me that she would rather spend time with me than look for a partner, which I thought was sweet and didn't think much of at the time. I am now 19, but I have noticed that since my 18th birthday, she has changed every time she is with me, from behaving in a more flirtatious way to walking around the house dressed in lingerie and hugging me, making sure her breasts are in my face. At first, I just ignored her in an uncomfortable way, but she was becoming more and more suggestive. So I decided to be direct and ask her about her behavior. What she told me I could never have imagined. She lowered her gaze with a sad explanation and then came back to me and confessed that the reason why she never had lasting relationships with other men was because she didn't feel comfortable with them. She only felt comfortable when she was with me, and that I made her feel complete. She told me that I was always there for her, and then when she tried something with another man, she felt that she was cheating on me. She told me that she knew it was wrong, but that's the truth, and she has actually come to fantasize about me and a future together as more than just a mother and a child. I was in shock and didn't know what to say. My head was trying to process what I heard until she broke the silence and told me that no matter what I think of her or what I do after this, she will always love me. I don't know what to do. Should I talk to my grandparents? Should I try to explain to her that it's not possible?
Dude, I don't know. I don't know. I think on the mother's behalf, just clear the air. It's weird. That's a fucking weird thing.
But she's definitely like romanticizing her kid.
Yeah, so that's weird. That crosses boundaries and laws probably. But first of all, I think there's just some things that you shouldn't admit. It's probably better just keep it to yourself. I don't know what to tell the kid. Get a job and move out, maybe.
Oh, he's 19,
be
so my
careful
guess is
bringing girls home, obviously. Or maybe just keep girls far, far away from home.
Yeah, I have a feeling that this would be the kind of mother-in-law that like would just sabotage anything.
Don't come home drunk.
Yeah, she might take advantage.
Right. Like, the last thing you want to do is wake up with your mom in lingerie in the same bed. Like,
oh my God.
what the fuck?
So this flew, like, I mean, it's 6 days old, but it flew way under the radar. There's only 3 comments. That's it.
I do want to say that when I was looking at family drama, there wasn't very many. It's not a very, like, popular subreddit.
No. Top comment. That is incest, my friend, and very weird. Your grandparents need to know, and you need to be removed from her custody or home. This is wrong. Second comment. Move out now to your grandparents and tell them exactly what she said. That's obsessive and sick. Another one. Can I get an update, brother? That's
I think
it.
that commenter's horny.
Or they just want to know what happened. I kind of want to know what happened too.
What are you doing? Sorry. I just looked over and Spike is just staring at the ceiling.
Whoever this is not an English speaking person, because I just tried to look at their like comments and posts, and other than the one that's done in English, everything else is in a different language.
What language is it?
I don't know. I don't speak other languages.
I'm a bit of a linguist.
Oh, are you?
Not really.
What is that? Is that Spanish?
Yeah, I think that's Spanish.
Okay. Either way, I do think that he needs to move out of his mom's house, maybe get some space, maybe go to therapy with her, or just have her go to therapy. What?
I want to try something on your computer. I want to see if I can translate it.
No, it's not. It's not comments on the post.
Oh, it's not.
It's just other comments. That's why I just said that he's just not an English speaking.
Me apologizo.
All good. Okie dokie. We're gonna move on because honestly, like, he does need to move out. Definitely needs to tell his grandparents she needs some help. Distance yourself.
Yeah. Weird.
Definitely distance yourself.
Oh my goodness.
Oh
Alrighty
my
then.
goodness.
Hello folks, how you been? I missed you. Did you miss me? Perfect.
Yeah, they totally answered you.
I heard them.
Okay, we might need to get you some help.
Listen, they don't have enough help for me. All right, so this one is from our Am I the Asshole from 4 months ago. Am I the asshole for telling my parents I didn't have a kid? They did, and they need to take care of her, not me. My parents had me, 15 female, when they were 18 and 19. They always made it so obvious they resented being parents so young and added that they never tried to be good parents. That's a fucking crazy thing to say. I typically spend most of my time at friends' houses. I don't have extended family to rely on. They disowned my parents for having me so young. So friends' houses were a positive in my life that made me feel more comfortable than being at home with my parents. My parents never did the typical parent stuff like helping me with homework or showing up to support me at school. I don't think they ever attended a parents' conference for me. They ignored a lot of stuff I needed to get signed, and I'd have to get right in their face on the last day to get signatures. My birthday and Christmas have never been a big deal or celebration. They do celebrate their wedding anniversary, but that's a them thing. When they told me 2 years ago they were expecting a baby, it really surprised me, but then it hurt because sometimes they said stuff that made me feel like I didn't exist. Like how they were so excited to have a baby and how they couldn't wait to be parents. A friend of my mom's did remind her of me, but then she and Dad said I was basically the too early practice run and this was the real deal. When my sister was born, they were so attentive to her that I ceased to exist completely. I got sick and my school was trying to call someone to pick me up early, but they ignored the calls, and when I got home, they had taken the baby out for a family day. When they got home, they hadn't even realized the school called because they turned off their phones to enjoy family time. My mom quit her job a month after my sister was born. She wants to be a stay-at-home mom, and she and Dad want at least one more kid. My dad leaves work early on Fridays so he can spend more time with the family, mom and sister. My parents tried to have another kid for over a year, and mom isn't pregnant yet, so they're jumping to fertility treatments. They told me I need to watch my sister for a few hours every week while they attend those appointments, and they gave me this detailed list of stuff she needs and what I'm going to do with her. I told them I won't, and that they had her so they need to take care of her because she's not my kid. My parents told me it's a few hours a week and not a huge deal. Dad told me I need to look at this as paying back all they did for me. I said no and told them that I don't give a crap, or that they don't give a crap about me, so why would I want to help them? Am I the asshole?
No. You aren't supposed to pay your parents back for them taking care of you. They're your parents. That's what they're supposed to do.
I agree.
And they chose to have another baby, so that is their choice. If they offered and was like, hey, we really need a sitter, can we pay you a few hours a week to watch the kid?
Right.
That's a whole different story. That's a whole different ball game. And if OP says no, then hire a babysitter.
Right. So the shitty parts for me is they don't answer the school's calls when something's wrong with OP. Mm-hmm. They don't give a singular fuck about anything that she's doing. They don't go to school events. Yeah. And she's 15. Mm-hmm. So like,
she's going to leave them when she turns 18, and she's not gonna be around them.
Right. Which is kind of crazy. Like, she says that I don't have extended family to rely on. They disowned my parents for having me so young. So they were 18 and 19.
Well, and also if it's religion, if they had, her before they were married. True. Or,
I would be, first of all, I'd be talking to somebody at the school.
Yeah, but that's going to turn into her going to foster care. So she's choosing
That's
foster
true.
care or staying with her parents.
That's true.
You know what I mean? I mean, there's a lot of kids, even kids that I've known, that it's like, okay, you either stay in a bad situation or you go to a worse situation.
That is a good point. Very good point. Thank you for opening my eyeballs to that. Mm-hmm. Okay, so top comment. Not the asshole. Neglecting to pick you up when you are sick and calling your life a practice run is such a horrible thing to get from your parents, and I'm sorry that they have neglected you. There's a response from OP to that. It is, but I'm used to it. They were showing all that without words for years. Though the practice run part is funny to me because what practice did they get? I can't say they ever really did much or any parenting, so it's just like, what are you talking about? They didn't make the most of their practice run for people who see me that way. And then there's a bunch of responses to that. It is a really shitty ordeal.
It's a sad situation. Luckily, OP's 15.
Yeah.
So a few more years, and OP can get out of there.
Well, and hopefully, maybe she's got a friend somewhere that would let you stay with them.
Well, and it sounds like she spends a lot of time at her friends' homes anyway. So I don't, I could see another parent taking her in. And in all reality, it seems like the only time these parents really want her around is to do what they want.
Right. I agree. And it's hard for me to even think about, like, that's such a shitty thing to say to your kid, especially when you're trying to, you had another one, and then now you're trying to have a third, but that first one is non-existent.
At 15 years old. 15, yeah. That's still a child.
Yeah.
That is still a child.
Well, unfortunately, kids that are in those situations grow up real quick.
I'm aware.
But, you know,
Yeah.
our host here
A host here, what?
grew up pretty quick herself.
All right, what's
That's why
next on the
she's so
agenda?
fucking. She's so cool.
Okay, that's why I'm so cool.
Yeah, you're cool, bro. I'm an idiot. I think I lost some brain cells when I was sick.
Oh, wow. Okay, so there's another comment, sorry, that I just noticed when I spun the computer around. Not the asshole that clearly just see you as a babysitter, and it sounds like they couldn't even do the bare minimum for you when you were growing up. OP, that's exactly how it was. I'm honestly surprised they didn't put me in foster care at some point, but then they'd have to pay. I'll never get them choosing to keep me for this. Putting me up for adoption would have been kinder. Did you hear that?
I did. Putting her up for adoption would be more kind.
And the fact that you're thinking that about your parents, like,
Right.
that's rough.
Yeah, I think it's hard to put yourself into a situation like that, but I would be looking for a friend's house I could call home or something, you know.
Tell them you are paying them back in the same coin. You are ignoring and refusing to parent their child as they ignored and refused to parent you. Simple as that.
Boom.
Yeah.
Hello, kitty. She's joined us, Chelsea.
Like always. Someone's telling her, also tell your teachers or guidance counselors about your home life. Tell your parents flat out you will abandon your younger sibling and then call the police if they try to force you to babysit. OP responded, they already know. The fact my parents never showed anything has told them a lot, and they check in a few times a year with me. So the school is checking in on her because of the parents.
She's alive. She's fed. She's not
She's not bruised
homeless.
up. She's not, yeah. Do you still have coffee in the cup?
No, it's empty.
Okay. The cat really likes the smell of coffee, and she is like, got her face in Jesse's coffee cup.
Like to her ears.
Oh my goodness. All right. This next one is from 4 months ago from r/Am I the Asshole? Am I the asshole? I offended my sisters while explaining why I didn't want children. I, 28 female, have 4 siblings, one of them being disabled. The other 3 have kids. This post is about A, 35 female, and B, 32 female. A has 4 kids, 17 female, 15 male, 14 male, 9 female. The younger 3 have severe physical and mental disabilities. B has 3 children, 12 male, 7 male, 2 female. The oldest and middle have the same disabilities as the older sister's children, and the younger has Down syndrome. They're both stay-at-home moms. All the children are in the disability program my country offers, but there is not much money left. After all the medical bills of therapy and meds they need, their husbands have okay jobs, but with the severity of the children's disabilities, it is hard to go by. On the other hand, I am single, child-free by choice, went to university, totally debt-free, have a master's, and work from home in my dream field. Last month, I bought my first house. I invited my family and friends for a housewarming this Saturday. I paid for 2 caretakers to care for the children so they could come. Everything was fine and fun until the end of the night. My friends had already gone home, and it was the 3 of us. They started to talk about me settling down, marrying, and having kids since I bought a house. I reminded them I didn't want kids. The talk circulated several times until they asked me why for the 10th time. I told them, besides really not wanting to have a child, I love my freedom. I love the life that I already have. Thinking about our family DNA, that is a high chance of having a disabled child. That means more work and sacrificing. I don't want to sacrifice myself. I want to have money for hobbies, to take care of myself, for expensive clothes and hairdressers, to travel, to live, and not just survive. I love them. They're great moms, but I don't want to make the sacrifices to be the same. I would be an awful and spiteful mom, and no one deserves that. From everything I said, and the only thing they listened to was about not wanting a disabled child. They went on a spiral about how much of a blessing their kids are, how I am an egotistical bitch, and so much more. They blocked me on social media and aren't answering me in the family group chat. My mom called to give me a speech about how my disabled brother, 36 male, was a blessing in her life, how he is a gift from God, and uninvited me from Christmas because my sisters won't come if I come. I called my brother, 39. His 2 children are adopted. He admitted a long time ago this was due to the high chance of a disability in our family. He told me my delivery is rude, but they also suck. They should know not everyone wants kids. He encouraged me to apologize because I know how they are. Am I the asshole?
No. No, you're not.
No.
That is a very valid reason to not want children.
And the fact that it runs in your family, and and with her, it's not even the fact that she doesn't want a disabled child. She doesn't want to sacrifice the time and money and everything else that would be a sacrifice.
She's got her life figured out.
Definitely.
She's got a master's degree. She just bought her first house.
Working in her dream field.
Right.
Like that's
working from home.
She's doing real good for herself.
Right. So if you bring any child in, there's sacrifices, sure. But with the chances in her family of having a disabled child, that is a major sacrifice. Now, everyone is entitled to free will, and that is what LP is choosing. She's choosing to have her life and live it how she wants because she's entitled to that. Everyone is entitled to live their own life exactly how they want.
Well, and the fact of the matter is she knows that she doesn't want children. And she even stated, I would be an awful and spiteful mom, and no one deserves that.
Right.
She is straight up saying, I don't want to do this. And because I don't want to do this, if this happened, this is the type of mom I would be. And I don't want to do that to anybody.
Exactly.
It has, yes, potentially having a disabled child is on that list of things that she wanted to avoid. But at the very top is, I don't want kids.
Right. This is we go through this shit all the time.
All the time.
And I don't think that we've ever put it out here on the podcast, so
a little bit, I think on the last one.
Well, let's do that. Are you okay with doing that?
I mean, that's fine.
We don't need to go into like supreme details.
Yeah, I have some fertility issues and some medical issues that would make it dangerous for me to have a child. So we have decided not to. We've decided not to risk it. I am choosing me. Jesse is choosing me.
I am also choosing her. And I'm doing that because for a number of reasons. So a lot of people don't know that we actually almost split up over this decision years ago. Mm-hmm. So when we first got together, it was a huge thing of Chelsea's to want children. And I did too. Then COVID happened. When COVID happened and the world changed for all of us, I decided that I didn't want to bring a kid up in this crazy world. So then you had COVID, and then you had like Russia invading Ukraine, and then the United States getting in bed with Ukraine and sending all that money over there, like in spite of Russia. Like that has scared me since I was a kid. War has always scared me. So like, no matter what political nonsense is what.
Yeah, I was about to say, we're not getting political on here.
No, that's not what I'm trying to do. It's just always scared me. So I have to worry in this life without kids about potentially having to deal with war on the home front or protecting my family as it is. And I don't have kids.
Right.
So that's a whole lot more if you do have kids. So there's that on top of that. And also, I did just go into get a vasectomy scheduled and found out that because of the way my giblets are, I might be sterile. So I have to go get a test for that soon. Yeah. And obviously, if I'm sterile, well, I can't make babies anyway. And
if not, then we have to decide who's getting a surgery because it could be less invasive for me to get it done.
It could be. Yep. So
But we are constantly getting, oh, when are you having kids?
Every
And-
single time.
And when we say, oh, we're not, oh, but why? It's such a blessing. You would be such good parents. And that may be true. Honestly, we probably would be great parents.
I could see it.
But that's not the point. Why does everybody think it is okay to put their word in on someone else's life and someone else's reproduction, especially when you don't know what's gone on?
100%. And ultimately, it's no one's decision but ours.
Right. And the fact that, like, I understand her sisters chose this and maybe they felt a little slated by her because she doesn't want what they have. Mm-hmm. Not everybody wants what everybody else has.
Right.
Your sister has 2 kids. My sister has 2 kids.
Right.
We have different lives, and that is okay. I got my boys. I got my kitty cat. Like, we're good.
Right.
We're good. And she, OP, is good too, is doing really well for herself.
And that's the thing, is that a lot of the people that have kids never tried to do anything for themselves. Mm-hmm. I don't even want to say that. That's kind of a blanket statement that probably isn't true. A lot of people that have kids never had the chance to do
I was about to say,
thing.
it makes it very hard.
Yeah, they never had the chance to follow their dreams.
Mm-hmm.
Or maybe they are following their dreams and they did have kids, and good for them. Because I feel like that's also like a minority of the population, if you will.
Yeah.
Because I wouldn't be able to dedicate all my time to fishing if I had kids.
Right.
There's no fucking
Well,
way.
and I don't know how many times I've heard from people either who have had children or the children of people who have had them that were, you know, the parents were, oh, I sacrificed so much for you.
Right.
We didn't ask you to.
Right.
You chose to have children. You know that comes with a sacrifice. You may not know how steep that sacrifice is when you choose to have a child, but you know there will be some kind of sacrifice.
Right. And there are some people that you can just tell that children are a blessing for.
Yeah.
Like they needed kids.
Yeah.
I've got a couple of very close friends that I think might be dead or in prison if they didn't have kids.
Well, and I feel like, honestly, that's a lot of parents.
I'm sure it is.
I don't know how many times I've heard people say that their children saved them.
Yeah.
Which is great. For OP, that's not what they want. And the fact that her sisters think she was being rude. However, at a certain point, there's no other way to get your point across. Because
Agreed.
I've definitely gotten rude with some people. I mean, you've had conversations where you tell them, hey, it could be dangerous for her to have kids. Oh, well, everybody should try to have a child. Oh, so you want me to die? Cool.
Right.
Like, that's awesome. I'm so glad I mean that much to you.
Well, and I've had to get shitty with people too. Mm-hmm. Or like, it's just a lot of times it's easier for me to just be rude to those people because then they get the point. Our dogs look hilarious right now. Draco was just humping Spike, and we both snapped our fingers.
And he just froze.
He is kind of smiling there too for a second.
Anyway, sorry. Keep going.
It's just easier to be rude to some people sometimes because then they get the point and they don't have any fucking questions about it.
Yep.
I don't like to be like that, but it's you're not getting what we're trying to tell you.
No, not at all.
So if basically my question to you when you're asking me this is, what the fuck does it affect if I have kids or not? How does that affect anyone?
Right.
Except for
me,
my wife, and our immediate families.
And in reality, it doesn't affect our immediate families.
No, it doesn't.
You can want what you want all you want, and that doesn't mean you're gonna fucking get it.
I've also had to explain to people that my family name does not mean shit. Also, I could have a girl. She may not have my name in the future if she gets married and she takes another man's name. So
I think that, and that's such an old school way of thinking of it.
who cares about my last name?
Yeah.
What? I'm not a
I mean-
fucking Rothschild or
You're not royalty.
no. I'm in Iowa. There's like 3 people that are famous from this fucking state that still don't
Yeah.
mean shit to half the world. They're actors. Good for them.
We're gonna go on to the top comment, but
Okay.
basically what we were saying is we relate to this.
I didn't realize that
story.
we didn't do comments yet. We just went
No.
on a long ass tangent.
Sorry
and I
about
apologize.
that, but it's something that people deal with on a daily basis, including us.
I didn't know we were gonna get so heated.
I didn't know you got so heated. I can see your veins
Which ones?
in your neck. Don't look like that. You look
I was
weird.
all flexed out.
Oh my God. Okay. Top comment. Not the asshole. I'm disabled myself. Honestly, it sounds more like your sisters want you to make the same decisions in order to validate their decisions, which is a very human thing, but not really fair to you. You aren't them. They might love having kids and want more, and that is a valid regardless of what anyone else does or does not want. Also, they are possibly taking out their own struggles with resenting the difficulties on you. No matter how much of a blessing children are, even people who wanted them and who had able-bodied kids have moments when they just plain regret having them. It would be much healthier if people admitted and processed this. Not wanting kids is a valid choice. Not wanting them because there's a high risk of disability, which means inevitable struggles, plus could be incredibly unfair to the child, is also valid. A lot of people fuss about how not wanting a disabled child is ableist without addressing that the chief reason is we live in an ableist society that begrudges even basic rights for disabled children and adults. Your sisters need to process their own internal worlds and reconcile the fact that not everyone wants what they want. Their decisions are valid regardless of other people. That is okay to not always be happy about the outcomes of decisions we made. They can love their kids and still be mad that it's such a struggle and so difficult sometimes. Yes,
I agree with that.
me too.
That was very well said.
It was, yes, 26,000 upvotes. And
That's not enough. Upvote it again,
39,000
Chelsea.
clapping things.
How many clappers?
39.
They got the clap.
Ah.
Also-
Someone responded that said that was the most sane thing I've ever read on Reddit. Thank you.
I just want to throw this out there. This is a hard podcast to do because I've been attempting to quit smoking.
Yeah, he's having a rough time. He keeps fidgeting. I'm having a hard time reading because I keep seeing you fidget.
I'm sorry.
Someone commented and said, my family suffers from generational trauma. We can get angry and violent in a heartbeat. I think I was late teens or early 20s when I told my parents that I would not have kids for this reason. My parents were not happy with my decision.
Well, there's so many reasons that you could not want kids that is valid. Money right off the fucking bat.
Yeah.
How much is it to go to a hospital and have a kid? It ain't free.
No. It's like between $15,000 and $30,000.
All the pregnancy appointments. All the post-pregnancy appointments. God forbid something happened to the child or the mother. Look at all of those. In the United States, I don't know what it is overseas or in a different country.
I mean,
it's
we just know what it is
probably
here.
fucking. It could be free in some country. Like, oh, you're developing a human. I don't know. I can't fucking stand the healthcare system. Let's not get on that kick either.
Let's see.
Are you Googling?
Yes, I am.
She's a Googler. Pull it up, Jamie.
This is, our internet's not fast enough.
Duh.
On average, hospitals in Iowa charge $10,487 for vaginal births in January of 2020, days before the Iowa caucus. Then the presidential candidate, Pete, I don't care, greeting a baby, I don't care. The average sticker price for hospital birth is $21,034.
$21,000.
And that's for a normal birth. Like, let's say you have to have like a C-section. Oh, that's way more. That's way more.
Yep.
Yep. That's the average.
I could
Average.
just for pure entertainment value, I could pay off my car, my truck, my credit card that I just got, and Chelsea's car for that.
I'm 100% down for that.
Or paying shit off, bud.
That'd be nice.
Ooh, I randomly just read the bottom sentence of this, and I enjoy it.
Okay, well,
Okay.
read the whole thing.
I will read the whole thing. All right, this one is from Am I the Asshole from 5 months ago. Am I the asshole? That's all, folks. Okay.
It really did sound like him.
All right, so am I the asshole for uninviting 25 family members to my wedding 6 weeks to showtime? That's a lot, dude.
That is a lot.
I approve. Okay, I've had this Halloween wedding planned for 2 years. The venue I wanted has a wait list. All of a sudden, my mom and grandma decided the
Slow
wedding...
down.
What? Am I going fast?
You're going real fast. Just slow down just a little bit.
I'm sorry, folks. I think the coffee kicked in.
Yeah, something. Okay.
I've had this...
Sorry, guys. We're a little rusty.
Rusty? Okay. I've had this Halloween wedding planned for 2 years. The venue I wanted has a wait list. All of a sudden, my mom and grandma decided the wedding was satanic and want me to make last-minute changes. I told my mom and grandma a firm no. 2 years my family has known about this, and because I have told them, I know half my mom's side thought they would be cute and say they aren't coming in a random ass power struggle. That was a confusing sentence. 2 years my family has known about this, and because I have told them no. Oh, they used the wrong no. I get it. 2 years ago, Jesus Christ. I'm so sorry, folks. 2 years my family has known about this, and because I have told them no, half my mom's side thought they would be cute and say they aren't coming in a random ass power play. That was a struggle. Okay. I told them fine and canceled everyone's invitations who complained or backed my mom or grandma on this. One of my sisters acted like she stepped out of bridesmaid duty, so I replaced her. It was about 25 people that decided to act stupid at less than the 6-week mark, so I sent out uninvited invitations, and I sent out new QR codes for those attending, and the venue will check in by only those people to let in.
They'll check the QR codes to make sure they were actually invited.
Yes. My aunt, who is one of the uninvited, told me people are allowed to disagree with me, and that doesn't mean I can pull an invitation from a wedding that they have made plans to attend.
Yes, you can.
I wholeheartedly disagree with that. I told my aunt that they had 2 years for complaints, but saying you are not going at 6 weeks before my wedding is bullshit, and everyone fucked around and found out that I will not be bullied by my family over this. Mm-hmm. Am I the asshole?
Not at all.
It's your fucking wedding. And again, if you had it planned for 2 years, which is, for me, that is an extensive amount of time. We fucking got married, or got engaged and then married within a year.
It was a year and 3 days.
Blah, 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 blah. Yeah, that is more than enough time. And if a Halloween-themed wedding is suddenly satanic, well, have you ever fucking celebrated Halloween, you fucking idiots?
I'm pretty sure that Jenny's wedding is going to be Halloween-themed.
Well, she must be a Satan worshiper.
I don't think she's a Satan worshiper.
Me either. She's a very nice person.
I'm aware. I'm just saying, I think it's ridiculous. And then all of a sudden be like, oh, it's a satanic thing. Like, okay, yes, technically Halloween has satanic ideologies. But in all reality, it's not that. Like, not anymore. It's not witches and goblins and ghouls. Oh my. It's, fun.
Anymore for Halloween, I see more people dressed up as whores than witches.
Yeah, but that's also the fun.
Not when you're married and you're not supposed to look.
You can look at me.
Well, you better be wearing less clothes this year then.
Okay.
Oh my goodness.
You
I said
started
this
it.
publicly to the internet.
You did.
Anyways.
I'll have to post a picture.
Of your ass on the internet?
Not my ass, no.
Am I the asshole? She says.
Yeah.
Not the ass. Oh, top comment. I'm very sorry about this.
Mm-hmm.
Not the asshole. Sounds like a blast. Which bride are you dressing as? OP responds and says, a light blue corpse bride dress, and then I'm going to have light blue hair.
Ooh, that would be really pretty.
Oh my God. Let's minimize that comment. Whoa, I minimized like 6 of them accidentally. Not the asshole. Saying you are not going at 6 weeks before my wedding is bullshit and everyone fucked around and found out.
Mm-hmm.
Fuck yeah.
That's the thing. Fuck around and find out. You guys decided to do a power play so she would change her wedding. It didn't fucking work. And now you're mad? Don't be mad. You can see the photos online when they're done.
Yep. And then another comment is, I love how the aunt is saying, how dare you disinvite me from a wedding I plan on going to, when she's responding, literally saying, I won't go. So the bride said okay and gave her invitation to somebody who wanted to go. Fuck around and find out.
Right, exactly. Like what? You're just going to wait and think, oh, it'll be fine. All these people are just not going to come. When a lot of times you have like a second and third list of people that you still want to invite.
Right.
Just stupid. And for the family to do this, like, don't be a fucking asshole.
Yeah, it's crazy.
Your family is an asshole, not you.
100%.
So I initially read this next post on my lunch break today. And then when I was looking it up to add it to here, I found some updates. What? It was like the little horn, like, boop, boop. That sounded more like Blue's Clues.
Yeah, I was going to say.
Sorry,
Do you
guys.
have a handy dandy notebook too?
I do have a handy dandy notebook.
She really is prepared with a handy dandy notebook. She was also, I want you guys to know, randomly fucking doodling
While I was reading
that story. I'm the one who just chugged a coffee. I'm the one who hasn't smoked a cigarette. I should be doodling. Give me the pen.
No, it's my pen.
I want to doodle.
You can't doodle.
Oh
You have
my
to
God.
listen to me.
I can't.
I've read these stories before. You haven't.
I have no ears.
Then we have a problem. How do you hear me? Don't pretend you don't hear me. Okay, so this one is, am I an asshole for losing it and calling my father a weak, pathetic man in front of his family? From 6 months ago. My father has always been against any confrontation or argument. He is extremely passive, refuses to stand up for himself, and avoids any conflict. If someone isn't paying attention while walking and bumps into him, he insists it's his own fault. If his employer would mess up his salary, he wouldn't bother fixing it. If a mechanic didn't properly repair his car, he would just accept it as it is. This unfortunately resulted in a tumultuous childhood with my insanely narcissistic mother. She controls his every move. She got him to quit his job and be locked in as a stay-at-home dad. She had him do every chore. She insulted him at every step. She cheated on him relentlessly and even brought affair partners into our home. Sorry, the cat's tail was like covering it and I was moving it with the pen. She even brought affair partners into our home. She enjoyed making his life miserable at every curve, and even he never questioned it. My extended family, God bless them, were there for me so many times, as much as they could be. They tried for years to make my father leave, but he never budged. When she would direct her anger onto myself in form of screaming, insulting, or general demeaning, my father never once found the guts to stand up for me or support me. When I was a kid, if I cried to Dad about something Mom did or said to me, he would sweep it under the rug or just insist I forget about it. Hell, he would even try and justify it. As I grew older, it really set in for me how messed up this was. My mother gladly kicked me out of the house when I was 18, and my father just sat there and looked sullen. Didn't say a damn thing. I joined the Air Force and almost immediately and got stationed on the other side of the country. The dynamic was awful, and I could have easily gone down the incel route if not for therapy and the amazing people I met along the way. It took It took years for me to get in a better mental space. I was filled with hatred. My mom left my father 2 years after I got stationed and utterly destroyed my father in the divorce. She was killed a year later in a DUI with one of her affair partners. I took a lot of joy hearing that. It took her hours to die. And that's when I really knew I needed help to process things.
Holy shit.
The fact that he realized, I believe it's a he, realized at that point in time, I need help is like, good for you. I'm almost 30 now, have a girlfriend who is perhaps the best thing that has ever happened in my life and fully understands the situation with my family. I've learned to not allow myself to be consumed with anger and resentment by my past. So now I thought you'll see, or so I thought you'll see, and instead put the energy to my future. I've been extraordinarily low contact, near no contact with my father since I left. As much as I try, I cannot make that connection with him. I recently went to a family reunion and brought my girlfriend with me. My father was there as it was his side of the family. They have many issues with him, but he is family, so whatever, I guess. I made sure to avoid him. I was chatting with my uncles when I heard my father talk in the background. He was discussing how a coworker of his was going through a divorce as he discovered his wife was having an affair and was positioned to have a very favorable divorce on his side. My father remarked how his coworker should work instead to forgive his wife and, by his own words, set a good example for unity and forgiveness, and how he believed he set a great example for me in that extent. I swear it was like a switch went off in my head, and I was mentally back to being the rage-filled 18-year-old all those years, and he never learned a damn thing. I turned to him and asked if he was fucking serious. He looked at me and started to stutter. I know the next minute was pure word vomit, and I can't relay and perfectly, but to sum it up, I shouted how he was a pathetic father, pathetic man. His family all knew he's a disgrace of a human being who would rather his son be treated like shit than defend him because he's a fucking coward. No one would ever see him as an example to live by. His wife would rather fuck up half the neighborhood than even touch him, and he should never ever believe anyone respects him. I began to derail and ramble between my shoutings, and my girlfriend quickly took me out and drove me home. It was insane just how quickly being away from him made me feel better. She just held me when we got back and told me it was okay. Again, best thing to ever happen to me. I was ashamed of how I lost it, and I'm now going to resume my therapy. That's a given. However, I'm glad I finally unloaded always needed to be said onto him. Extended family is pretty mixed with reactions. His brothers / my uncle said it was time for him to hear it from me. My grandparents are pissed I did that in front of the entire extended family, with some saying I should have done that behind closed doors instead of everyone. Am I the asshole?
No, I don't think you're the asshole because, like your uncles and shit say, it was probably time for him to hear it.
Right.
However, I do want to say that if you have any family issues, you should probably not fucking go to family reunions, bro.
The thing is his dad's the only one he has an issue with.
Well, and you fucking knew he was going to be there.
Yeah, but he was fine with that. He was keeping his distance. It was once his dad was like, oh, I bet I set I know I set a good example for him. That's what set him off.
Right, but I don't know. I tend to keep myself out of fucking situations that will get me into trouble. So if I was in this guy's shoes and I knew that I was going to go to this thing and I knew that my dad was going to be there and I know what kind of person he is, I would probably avoid that situation.
That's hard for me as a person who I would still want to go see my family.
You get that?
You know, I can be an adult for the most part. But I feel like if I was at a family event and my father says some shit like that, I'd probably go off too.
Yes. Which is why I would strongly suggest that you do not go to those things.
They don't have family reunions. It's fine. And he wouldn't be invited anyway.
Right, but I would be, and I don't want to go.
Be nice. Anyway, top comment, not the asshole. For those saying you should have done it privately, it's not like you planned it. You got triggered and literal years of abuse regurgitated onto him. I'm glad you got to unload. I'm also glad you're returning to therapy to help you heal and process. Good luck. Another comment. I am also delighted that OP crashed in front of the entire family. His father is no more able to play the good man who married a bitch. He is seen now as the coward and the enabler of his son's abusive mother. OP's grandparents do not like hearing the truth. Tough luck. Nothing else to say?
Not really. I think I unloaded.
I think you did too.
Sorry.
Okay, we have an update. So we're going to take a gander at that.
A gander.
6 months ago.
What in the fuck was that? Don't do that.
Why?
That was not cool.
It was like the Grinch.
It didn't sound like the Grinch.
Uh-huh. Give me one of his lines.
I don't know any of the Grinch lines.
I can't think of one right now.
I stole Christmas. You fucking, I don't know, dude.
No.
You sounded more like Sean Connery.
Oh, damn. I was going for the Grinch. Okay.
Sean Connery's Grinch Stole Christmas.
No.
Yeah, I feel weird. Can we just move on?
Yeah. Update. Thanks for the advice and recommendations, even amongst some of the you're the assholes. However, some of them needed to be addressed because they were either hilarious or cringeworthy. One, some of them were very angry and they kind of confused me at first until I saw their comment further down or saw their profile and saw rants about double standards or complete non-sequitur ramblings about women. So yeah, not helpful advice, and they were great dark reflections about how I could have turned out if not for the support in my life. Number 2, some attempts to portray my dad as humble, kind, caring, sensitive old man who I'm just being a big bully to. This is a very good insight into how enablers of abuse get away with so much in today's world, because so many people forget how they are part of the abuse themselves. 3, some were attempting to mentally dissect me or have a gotcha moment with me to pull apart my story. That was genuinely asinine, and I had to step away from those before they asked for my cranial measurements or something. So it was pretty much immediately when I was up the next morning that I realized I needed to resolve the events of last night. I first spoke to my girlfriend and gave a sincere apology for having her see me like that. She reassured me that nothing was wrong. She'd known me for years and has always known me to be level-headed and understands why I kind of snapped. She herself has a history of dealing with narcissistic families, so she absolutely understands the dynamic. She only really told me that it would be best to work on spending time around my extended family since my father will always be there. I told her, don't worry, I'm immediately going to talk to them afterwards to figure that out. So that part's fine. Looked like kind of an ass in front of her, but I'm making sure that doesn't happen again. I also informed of her my intentions to resume more therapy just to keep myself steady, which she was happy to hear. I called my grandparents and sincerely apologized as well for putting such a sore dent into their family reunion. That it wasn't appropriate, and while I still feel it felt good to say that to him, it should have been privately and not in front of everyone. I also told them that going forward, as much as I love spending time with them, since the family always hangs out in one group that my father will always be in, for now, until I can handle being around him, I need to distance myself occasionally until I feel comfortable interacting. I told them that I am nor would I ever be establishing an ultimatum or demands of them, and that either way I need to step back. I guess during my apology and explanation, I was kind of just going on a tangent because my grandfather interrupted me to calm down. He told me that after I left, people kind of separated or slowly started leaving, and they eventually were able to talk to my father one-on-one. I guess seeing me have such a freak out resulted in my grandmother having a mini freak out of her own when she started talking to my father, resulting in her kicking him out. While I have a great relationship with both, my grandmother has always been extra protective of me, so seeing me that way must have set off a fire in her. My grandfather then said that has become a bit of an open family secret that my father's failing. His brothers taught him about it and generally didn't have a great relationship with him. And for my taunt him, not taught. And for my grandparents, it's always just uneasy. But seeing my the other day and how it still affects me so much has really liked.
Don't you love that?
I hate when they do that. But seeing my freak out the other day, and how it still affects me so much, has really liked it for a lot of people that it was really bad. So they now understand. They began to try and say sorry if they didn't do enough, which I very adamantly retorted that they did more than what anyone could have expected. It was very emotional for a minute, but culminating in them telling me they have decided to distance themselves from my father for the time being, and have given him the ultimatum that unless he has a deep introspective and regularly goes to therapy, that distance may become permanent. My extended family, I've been told, are going to try and reach out or call or whatever. But I asked them if they could relay to them that it's not necessary and that I'm fine, and I'm sorry to them as well for ruining the day. Which again, they told me I shouldn't apologize for being hurt. Since then, extended family have sent messages with general consensus that it's okay, with some older family members complaining about my lack of respect towards my father. And finally, I texted my father hoping to meet at a local coffee shop and have a final talk. I met him and he didn't look good. I think his parents tearing into him finally got the message through. I had so many things I could have said, but I instead asked him first thing if the coworker he gave the advice to took it well. He just said that neither him nor several coworkers interacted with him anymore. I asked him if he truly 100% believes that every single thing he did for me as a child was for my benefit. He didn't really say anything. I then finally asked if he has any regrets for how I was treated as a child and if he thinks he ever did anything wrong. He looked utterly defeated and just mumbled that he could have done more. I could have poked and prodded and could have gone on another rant, but instead I told him that this should be goodbye and I hope he gets the help he needs. I think finally unloading my frustrations was what I needed to finally be able to move on and find peace. I absolutely need to keep on track for therapy and admit that a public bitching moment isn't okay, but I should be fine.
Long-winded.
Very long-winded.
But it sounds like OP is okay. His father sounds like he finally got the picture and he sounds pretty defeated, if I'm honest, but
honestly, sometimes you have to hit rock bottom to really work on yourself.
Hey man, you're a fucking preacher in the choir here.
Right. Top comment. This is an interesting one. The ability to control one's failure. Yes, that's what I'll call your situation is very powerful. You'll do all right. Congratulations sincerely on owning your actions. No matter how justified you acknowledge your outburst was uncomfortable for others and likely not appropriate in that setting. It takes incredible strength of character to admit your feelings, even if you had no idea how else you could have reacted in that moment. That you immediately communicated that to your loved ones, and a huge sign of how respectable and genuine you are as a person. I really hope you keep moving forward from the situation with the same mindset. Good luck. And there's just comment after comment after comment, just, congratulating him on being that kind of person. And it does take a lot for him to call his grandparents and be like, hey, I'm really sorry. It shouldn't have happened the way it happened. And to just own up to that is commendable.
I agree.
Definitely.
It's hard for a lot of people to take responsibility for their own actions, especially with something like that. Like, you had a lapse in judgment, but, depending on how you look at it, it was a justified lapse of judgment.
Right. It was still, yes, it was definitely something that should have been done behind closed doors. Uh-huh. The issue that I run into is how he had older family members that were like, oh, you should respect your father. Respect is fucking earned.
Agreed.
I don't respect someone just because they're my elder. Initially, I will give you respect. You give me a reason not to, then that's where we're at. His father obviously gave him a reason not to.
Right.
We have another update.
Holy cannoli. Ravioli.
Yes. I needed a drink of water before I did this.
I am hungry.
You've really got to stop saying that at the end of every podcast.
I'm so hungry.
Please. 5 months ago, so a month after all this happened. Things have progressed over the last couple weeks, and I now have broader context about my family. Long story short is...
Long story,
but it should be long story. It says long, sorry, short is. Long story short is there was a lot hidden from me. My father was an absolute asshole to his family, and that's why they treat him the way they do. I got a lot of feedback, including the compilation post on Best of Redditor Updates and Boru. And one thing that stood out was people questioning if my extended family could have contributed to the abuse, and that's why he was so feeble. And since I was trying to work on the relationship with my family, I figured it was time to ask the hard questions before going that far. I met with my dad's brother, who invited me out to a popular lunch spot. For context and clarity, Dale is the oldest brother. He is married and has a daughter and a son. My father is the second oldest, self-explanatory. John is the second youngest, also married with a son. Bill is the youngest, married with 3 daughters. So anyways, we met up and I ripped the Band-Aid off, asking about my father growing up, what he was like beyond the basics I know, and what really is going on with their relationship. Dale sighed and basically summed up that besides what I know, there's a lot of backstory I'm unfamiliar with that they never told me about, simply because it was never the time nor the place to. What I've always known is that my father was fairly normal when he was young, a little shy, but fantastic academically, played sports occasionally, had a close-knit relationship with his brothers, and meeting my mom in high school junior year made everything go downhill. What I didn't know was that my father was a guiding figure for his 2 younger brothers and was generally seen as one of the nicest people with a bright future ahead of him. My grandparents adored him, and he even became a little bit of a golden child, but no one minded. The reason his family doesn't respect him is what happened to his behavior when my mother got attached to him. It first started simple, my mother acting rude and distant to the family. They weren't huge fans, but my father loved her, so they tolerated it. She became possessive and slowly isolated my father and convinced him to give up his ambitions and goals. Family became concerned and spent a lot of time trying to talk to him and convince him to leave. My father didn't budge and began to lash out. When I was born, my extended family tried to talk to my father about my mother's attitude. My father was angry and threatened to report them for harassment. He was in denial about her behavior. When Dale's wife was having fertility issues, my mother messaged her appalling and cruel things. When Dale was pissed and went to talk to my father, he told Dale to drop it and even justified it. Dale punched him and police almost got involved. Dale hated him going forward. John grew to hate him when my mother insulted his son due to mild physical disabilities. My father cracked a joke about what she said. John hated him then. Finally, Bill, who always idolized my father, tried to inform my father that my mother made a pass at him and urged divorce. My father responded with a maddening call of utter hate and relationship-ending words. To sum it all up, the more time my father spent with my mother, the more he began to repeat her attitude. When all the signs of abuse to me and tried to intervene, my father threatened to lie to accuse them of worse things. My mother had money and lawyers and could make their lives hell if they tried, and my father would gladly let her. They were stuck and could only do so much at a time. The older members of the family, like the grandparents, great aunts and uncles and such, believed in the traditional mindset of families sticking together no matter what. While the generations further down went to keep a distance from him, they all stuck between a rock and a hard place. There's more they told me about it. It was all essentially that my father died on the hill for my mom, ruining his relationship with his brothers in the process. And when she died and destroyed him, he probably had to realize it was all for nothing. My grandparents seemed to not want to accept the fact that he was lost, or maybe they hoped he could fix his life. Who knows? This was a lot to process and was only confirmed by my father himself when he called me to ask about family therapy with us. I cut to the chase and asked if what I heard was true. He said yes. I would have agreed to maybe some family therapy, but now I have no idea.
Well, so the plot is thick, huh?
Yeah, it sounds like there was a lot of behind the scenes that, of course, as a child you shouldn't know.
Right.
And now he does know, but it's still hard because he still went through that. He still experienced that abuse and that trauma and is still dealing with it himself. So, like,
I think you got to look at the silver lining, I guess, which is that now he's an adult and he has a little bit of insight into the past as to what led to what happened.
It honestly sounds like his mom was just a horrible person.
Yeah. I mean,
absolutely a horrible person.
You see that, you know. I mean, you get paired up with somebody and you're so madly deep in love and you become a piece of shit, or you become that person. And It's unfortunate to see, and it seems like that's what happened in this case. And like I said, trying to look at the silver lining here, at least OP now knows the backstory.
Yeah, now he has an idea of why this happened, at
Right.
least from his dad's side of things.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I don't think he'll ever know anything about his mom's side of things, of why she was the way she was. Top comment for this last update was, this man compromised his integrity, his values, his family, and even enabled the abuse of his child. He made his entire personality enabling a monster. Once she left him, he was left adrift like a Disney villain sidekick once their master died, craving that sense of power from riding the coattails of another. Focus on your own therapy and future. I feel like that's a really good,
Yeah. You just smoked the mic.
I'm sorry if that was loud.
That thing's expensive, man.
I'm aware. Yeah, I just think, I don't know. I feel bad for OP, but he does have his girlfriend. Hopefully,
Yeah.
they have a good life, and the
It
girlfriend
seems like that's
seems to,
a good thing for him.
yeah, the girlfriend seems to definitely fit. A lot of people are, you focus on yourself, leave your dad to fix his own problems. Your dad asked for therapy. Is it for the both of you or just for him, so that a therapist would make you apologize to him, the true victim, so that a therapist would assure him that he did the right thing? Why didn't he get therapy earlier? Your dad isolated himself, trying to emulate your mom to his family, even telling them that he would lie if they tried to intervene in your abuse. He belongs to the pit of hell for that. He may not have realized he needed therapy earlier, honestly.
It's true.
Getting therapy is a hard step to make.
Yeah.
I do think that maybe his dad needs to do therapy alone first before they start trying to do family therapy. Because if you don't work on yourself, then family therapy is not going to do jack shit, because you're just going to be there fucking pointing fingers and making excuses.
You're kind of forcing a dynamic that doesn't exist.
Right.
Why am I going to, if I can't just go sit in a room with you as is, why am I going to go fucking pay to sit in a room with you? It's a little bit deeper than that, but
definitely a little bit deeper than that. There is one more. Would you like to read it?
Holy shit. One more what?
One more story.
Oh, I thought you were talking about one more update. I'm like,
no, and this one's not too long.
Yeah, let's do it. I suppose. I guess.
No, that was the last update. And like I said, I read the initial one when I was on my lunch break today. And then when I searched it when I got home, that's when I found the 2 updates. And I was like, oh, damn.
Okay, so this one is interesting to me because I've always wanted to hear a story like this, honestly. I don't know why.
Okay.
All right,
I
so
did
this
not
one,
realize.
This one is from Am I the Asshole from 7 months ago. And I guess I've never really wanted to hear a story like this. I've just heard about it
Happening
and was always curious, what the fuck. But anyway, am I the asshole for going to the police immediately when I found out my parents took out debt in my name? So my parents took out credit cards and loans in my name. It was fine when they were paying the bills, but they got behind. I don't have a key to the mailbox, so I never saw the bills or anything. I just finished my 3rd year of university, and I was going to move out. That would require me to get a credit check and stuff. My parents freaked out and forbid me from moving out. They said it was stupid that I would waste money on moving out when I could save money living at home. They don't like my boyfriend, so I thought that was their issue. But I was wrong. Long story short, I'm about $60,000 in debt because of them. I cannot afford to pay that off.
Oof.
I told them that they needed to clear the debt immediately and change the house rules so my boyfriend could spend the night. They said that they didn't have the money to pay off the debt and that I could not strong arm them into changing the rules of their house. I called my auntie and asked her if I could please come stay with her for a bit. She let me and asked a lot of questions. Then she showed me a dozen Reddit posts about parents screwing up their kids' future and kids allowing it. So I went to the police and reported it. My parents were arrested and charged, and they are furious with me. I know they didn't spend the money on me. I do not know what they did spend it on. I don't care. I feel bad for them, but I'm not letting them fuck up my future. Am I the asshole?
No, not at all. They did something extremely illegal, and if it wasn't their child, like, it just made it easy because you are their child, and they know
Right.
your social security number.
Yep.
And in all reality, like, if you weren't their child, would they have done this? Would they be as mad that you turned them in?
Right.
Like, how can they just expect you to just try to build your life starting out with that much debt? It's different when you accumulate it yourself, but to have someone else accumulate it for you when you're starting out, that's fucked up.
60 grand is fucking crazy.
That's a
too.
lot.
That is crazy.
That's so much.
I mean, I just spent $1,800 on my fishing stuff, and I feel buyer's remorse.
The thing is if it wasn't for my house, I would have less than $30,000 in debt.
Right.
And
The
that's
most
including my car.
Yeah, the most I've ever owed on was my truck.
Yeah, like that's obviously minus the house because the house is the biggest thing I've ever fucking bought in my
I have
life.
to take that back. I have filed bankruptcy in the past. I have a past. The legit things that I've owed money on is my truck. So top comment, not the asshole, in quotes. It was fine when they were paying the bills. No, it wasn't. It is identity fraud, and it is illegal. Put a freeze on your credit and monitor your reports from now on. Tell them you are furious with them as well. OP responded and said, I meant I didn't know about it, not that what they did was okay, which that's good.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Not the fucking thing. So we have another, we have another comment. This one is broken up into parts of the story. So not the asshole. It quotes that they took out credit cards in OP's name and it was fine. We're paying the bill. Not fine at all. It's it's illegal and can affect you negatively. My parents freaked out and forbid me from moving out. This is a red flag. $60,000 in debt. This is exactly why taking out credit cards in your name was far from fine. Parents got arrested and they're mad at me. I find it insane that they're mad at you for reporting a crime that they put you in $60,000 in debt.
And the thing is if she would have figured out a different way, like let's say she finally did check her credit and she realized.
Yeah, you're fresh out of college and you have a 400 credit score or something crazy.
Right. And then she realized, oh shit, someone stole my identity and then reported it. They would have gotten caught either way.
Right.
The only difference is that she knew who the people were, which in all reality fast-tracked this. So
Absolutely.
this stuff can get taken off her credit. She can get her credit score back to where it needed to be, and her parents are being held liable for that money.
Right. Can you imagine? Imagine that you didn't know that it was your parents.
Oh, my God.
And you went to the cops. You just didn't even say anything to your parents. Like, well, what are they going to do, you know?
Right.
And you go to the cops, and they, they do their investigation. They're like, so do you know this person? Well, yeah, that's my mom.
Oh.
We're going to be coming to your house. Why?
Yep.
Like, that would make for a crazy fucking episode of Cops or whatever.
Dude, that would be insane.
Right.
And then to think about, like, a parent doing that. Like, you would think that the parents would want you to start out your life in a good spot. Like, if anything, letting you get a credit card, in high school so you can pay for gas. And then they pay the credit card so that you have a really good credit score. I've heard of people doing that. I have not. Like, that's insane to me to just take out that much money. Right. And to get approved for that much money. Like, holy shit. They had been doing that, like, long haul.
Yeah. Well, and like this person says, I'm sure she gets credit card applications in the mail all the time. Your parents know all of your personal data. If she's living with them, it would be unfortunately fairly easy for them to intercept one in the mail and fill it out. Fuck yeah, it would. Look how many I get. I get like 3 a week.
Well, and she said she doesn't have a key to the mailbox.
Right. So she's not even seeing the fucking mail.
Yeah, she's not even seeing it. So she's not even seeing any of these credit card bills that are coming in her name, any of the credit card offers that are coming in her name, nothing.
Right. Where, like I said, like, I get 3 of them a week.
I get a bunch of them too.
Yeah. Luckily, like, I can trust my parents. Like, I wouldn't be getting mail at my mom's house, but I do every once in a while get mail at my dad's house. My dad's credit score could fucking wipe mine out, and I have good credit.
Yeah. I have okay credit.
Well, it's crazy to me that, like, honestly, if you would have asked me 7 or 8 years ago if I ever saw my credit being this good again, I would have told you no. There's no fucking way.
I'll get mine back up to where it was.
Well,
but
you just have debt. I had the bankruptcy.
Yeah, and that takes years to fall off.
7 years.
Yeah.
7
Mine's
years.
just the debt. I mean, you have to think that, like, I got the house, and then I ended up, I got a new car not a couple years ago, and then all the stuff for the wedding, and it's just
right.
Yeah, life.
We'll get it.
Fucking
we'll get it.
Life. But that is can't choose your family.
Yep.
And these people are fucking crazy.
They always are. And again, folks, if you have any family fucking drama, don't go to a goddamn family reunion, dude. There are other ways to hang out with other parts of your family you don't get to see. Jesus. Facebook. Yeah. Facebook, Instagram, any social media, dude. Send them a message.
Not
get their
everybody
phone
has
number.
social media.
Well, I understand that. But somebody that you talk to in your family is going to have somebody else's phone number. You don't have to go to a family reunion.
I'll give you that.
Sorry, I am anti-reunion.
Yeah, apparently.
Yeah, no high school reunions, nothing like that for me. No, thank you.
I didn't go to any of my high school reunions yet.
Didn't you? Have you been out of school long enough to have a reunion?
I've had 2 reunions.
I did 2, and I skipped them both. I might have had 3. There might have been a 5-year reunion. If there was a 5-year reunion.
There was a 5-year reunion and a 10-year reunion that I skipped.
I wouldn't even remember if there was a 5-year. The 10-year.
They just wanted to bar hop, and I don't.
That's all they are.
Do that.
You just go to a bar and see people that you haven't seen that don't care about you.
I want to have a reunion like you see in the movies where they have like a dance, like a prom. Like, that's what I want to go to. I want to dress up like I'm going to prom.
I want to take my trophy wife or my trophy husband to this place that he has 0 interest in going, so I can show him off to all these high school girls.
Yeah, because they were fucking asshole bitches, and I'm better than them.
Hopefully, none of them are your fans.
Sorry, guys, if you are. If you are, I understand the unfollow.
Yeah, so that was awkward. I'm sorry for telling you that I'm hungry.
It's okay. Apparently I have to go make dinner now.
So. I have to upload a podcast now.
Yes.
We could switch roles.
No, I don't want you making chicken.
Wow.
You overcook it.
On what? What the hell have I ever even cooked chicken on? We have a skillet now. I can do it on that.
No, you would overcook it.
I'm scared of the grill. I do.
He gets scared. Like, he thinks that he's going to give
pork.
us salmonella. And
just give me a steak, dude. I'll make you steak. I can't screw up. I'll eat a bleeding steak.
I won't.
Alrighty then.
So here we are. I will be making chicken. But yeah, like, comment, subscribe, share, tell all your friends, let them know. We will try not to miss too many more. Like I said, last week, Jesse was sick and I was trying to stay away from him. So I didn't get it.
And I believe as of now, we are on an indefinite audio only.
For right now, yeah.
Yeah, this is going to be for probably the foreseeable future.
Until I can get, I just don't have. I don't have it in me.
Well, it's going to be hard because I'm going to be going back to work for long. And
yeah, we're going to have to start recording on the weekends again.
Yep.
I'm going to have to get a new schedule going for myself. But we will see you guys next week. Well, You'll hear us next week.
Durka.
Bye.
Bye.